All right, so we're off today to go to Canterbury. We'll see how long it takes to get there. We don't know anything about the train station or anything like that, so we're going to be winging it the whole way. But we know we'll go to Dover Priority. That's the train station to go to for Canterbury. And we're off. And where we're walking to today is we're leaving from the Churchill Guest House on this side of Dover, right underneath the cliffs of the castle, walking across town to the train station. Dover Priority is the name of it. So this is walk, and it's going to take us about 15 minutes to get there. We also need to buy train tickets whenever we get there, so we guessed about a half hour to walk and buy the train tickets. Be sure to check what time the train is leaving, because the trains leave, some of them at every hour. So we checked ahead of time and saw that, well, we needed to hoof it a little bit in order to make it. So we left 30 minutes ahead of time to make our train, and we made it in plenty of time. So we made it to the train station, and that's taking it on. So we made the trains, and the tickets are $25 or £25 for 2 people round trip. So we'll see how long it takes to get there. It says about 40 minutes. So we have all of our tickets, and the tickets look about like this. So 4 tickets round trip. In no time, we're out in the countryside, looking around at all the land that's available here. Rolling hills and a bunch of sheep. And cows, apparently. Train that we have here. Canterbury East. And what we're using to get around while we travel is a eSIM card. This allows us to go to a different region. This is for Europe. And for here, what we've ended up picking up is 2 gig of data for roughly $10. So we bought, both Cheryl and I bought this package because it's cheap. It's less than 1 day of international travel through our normal plan. So they charge us $12 a day per person when we can get this for 15 days for $10 roughly. So something to look at before you go. This will give you access to Google Maps and all the data that you need. No cell phone coverage like as in talking, but data on your cell phone only. And whenever that we go to Canterbury today, we have a couple of tours that we're planning on taking. The first one is the walking tour of Canterbury with a green badge guy. This is like a reputable guy that you can take a tour with around town, show you the highlights. This tour is lasting about an hour and a half, and we paid about $38 for it. So it was an excellent tour that we went on. The next one that we're doing was the highlight for here is the cathedral entry. The cathedral is good for all day, so you can come and go as much as you want. You could even get a pass to come back at a later time. So if you wanted to come early, do something else, come back later, you could do that also. And that was about $62 for 2 people. Both those prices are for 2 people. So give or take about $100 for the 2 of us all day in Canterbury with 2 tours. Some of the medieval walls surrounding Canterbury. Just as we come through, we've left the train station and crossing over the bridge into the downtown area. So we have never been here before, so we're going to have to figure out where we're going. Like I say, we have our Airlo eSIM. That way we can figure out on our phone where that we're at. But it looks like everything is marked pretty well. It's like they have signs right here. Canterbury Castle.
Welcome to Canterbury.
Welcome to Canterbury.
And as soon as we step into the old part of town, it seems like you drop back like centuries in time, because everything is narrow streets, old buildings. The buildings aren't exactly straight because they're leaning out a little ways and a little ways left and right. But everything here is old. And off in the distance, we can see what we're coming here for. Canterbury Cathedral. There you can see it right to the center of your screen. And all of these buildings are from the 1300s. The cathedral itself is from 1100. So all this area is pretty much pedestrian-only traffic now. And since we're here, we may as well try some of the local stuff. Harris tweed. Here we're going to try a hat. I'm not typically a hat person, but we're going to try one. But like this jacket, give you an example, it's 325 euro. Or 325 pounds, I should say. So, Harris tweed, made in the UK. And they have a whole lot to choose from. We have made a purchase. This is the thing, the souvenir for today.
If you'll sing it with me, it's row me bully boys row. And it's row me bully boys, we're in a hurry boys, we got a long way to go. We'll sing and we'll dance and bid farewell to France, and it's row me bully boys row. Our captain is great and the first mate on board, row me bully boys row. He looks like a peacock with pistols and swords, it's row me bully boys row. And it's row me bully boys.
And this is the Buttermarket Square. The entrance to the cathedral is right here.
Why is there the Roman Museum in a little back street of Canterbury? And we go back to the evening of the 31st of May 1942. And this was when the first of the so-called Baedeker air raids hit Canterbury. And the air raids were so named because of a guidebook in Germany, Baedeker or Baedeker, which recommended to German tourists where to come in the UK.
And remember where I was saying that the buildings are from the 13th and 14th century? That's the ones above ground. If you dig down a little deeper, well, the whole area is like a layer cake, stretching back from the Roman days. They're not sure how far it goes back, but it's recorded in the year 410 when the Romans left the area. But all around the cathedral is old city. And our guide told us about all the area going through here, the Roman baths, the theater that they found after the city was bombed in World War II. In Canterbury, it's an old church. It was started, the original foundations were 597. But of course, it had to be torn down and rebuilt. One of the rebuilds happened in 1070. And if you remember correctly, there's something else that happened in 1070. Another church was built at the same time. Yes, the little church in Dover was built out of the same material at the exact same time as Canterbury Cathedral. Of course, one was slated to be a McDonald's, the other still a tourist attraction. The Canterbury Cathedral over the years has been burned, torn down, rebuilt, became a monastery. Pretty much everything you can think of has happened to this church. But over the years, the residents around it have always rebuilt it, and it is what it is today. One of the other photographed places in Canterbury is the Crooked House. And here over the mantel has a quote by Charles Dickens about the house. And ironically enough, what do you think it would be housed in this Crooked House? A bookstore, just after Charles Dickens named it. Here, you can see the house looks like it's about to fall down, but it's been restored on the inside to keep it from falling. And this building has some importance because this is where the Knights Templar met before riding off to kill Thomas Becket at the cathedral. Thomas Becket was the Archbishop of Canterbury, but more on his death in a little bit. This statue was originally in front of the cathedral, but the townspeople thought, yeah, the lady that's in here doesn't have very much clothes on, so they moved her to an isolated side street way away from the cathedral. And that's where she still sits today, instead of right in front where everybody could see her. And our city tour ends at the bridge where you see this odd chair in the middle of the river. This is called a dunking chair. On this chair, they would place people that they thought were witches and dunk them under the water. If they didn't drown, they were a witch and had to be burned at the stake. If they did drown, well, the townspeople would gather around and just say sorry. Got that one wrong. And with that, our walking tour is over. But we decided to step into the Weaver's house from the 1500s for a little bit of snacks. Of course, we have to have a beer and a Diet Coke and shepherd's pie. This was pretty good. Meat is like a pot pie. And now what we came here for, the cathedral itself.
We invite you each in your own language to pray the prayer that Jesus taught us, saying,
Our Father, who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come,
thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The kingdom and the power and the glory forever. How fitting that the Lord's Prayer was being recited as we stepped into the church. So I think it's fitting also that we play it as we walk around and show you the church that was started in 597 and rebuilt many times over the years. But it shows you where people put their money in the old days. Unlike today's where that they'll spend it on all kinds of crazy stuff. The church is where people used to invest their money.
Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us as we forgive. And lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
In the year 1000 approximately, a man by the name of Thomas Becket was ordained by the king to become a priest. The same day he became bishop, and the next day archbishop, and over all of the Anglican Church. But the king was mad at him because he wasn't giving all the riches of the church to the king. And he asked that could he be ridden of this person. So he was killed right in the middle of the church. And the only thing that's left is a single candle marking where his death was. This is where Thomas Becket was killed during Mass. Our last look at the Canterbury Cathedral is we're going to start making our way back to Dover. Going to head back on the train. Let's say it's about a 45-minute ride from Canterbury to Dover. So we're going to start heading that way. And our train has arrived. And you can tell by the castle that we are getting closer to home. We are not too far now. For dinner tonight, we had this German doner kebab. It's like when a Greek restaurant meets a Subway and had a baby. That was this. And it was about $25, so fairly cheap. And by far more food than we could eat, as you could tell by this sandwich. We ate about half. And if you ever wonder what a Dollar General store looks like in England, this is it, Poundland, their version of a Dollar General. Pretty funny. We went there a couple of times. Join us next week for day number 4 of our excellent adventure, and we'll stay around Dover that day. Go up to see the castle and all the tunnels that are around there. Definitely get our stairs in. That castle is a long ways up the hill. So join us next week for day number 4. And as always, thanks for watching.